What is going on, guys? Spartan D here. We have PN72 and I've played with her. She's okay. She feels nice to play, at least. I will say this though. I played with her with a few teams, and I think she falls under the same category as like all the other units that have a debuff. She will end up doing better. She will end up doing better on a team that can continuously have a debuff active of some kind. So as you can see, I've already got her vowed and everything. It does come in the battle pass, so I don't see why not. It also gives her additional crit chance, which is good for her because she needs it. Just go through her, skills again briefly. So what she does with her ultimate is, when it says swings her sword in a frenzy, what she does is there's a radius in front of her that she will dash to in that direction, and that's the damage that ends up getting done. And she also stuns them for 10 seconds. She also inflicts bleed onto the enemy's hit for 10 seconds. And enemies with bleed lose, HP equal to 0.25 of her attack per second. She also boosts her crit chance by 40% and her crit damage by 20% when she's attacking enemies with debuffs. PN72's critical hits from regular attacks have a 20% chance of ignoring enemies' defense and boosting her crit damage for 10 seconds. And PN72's normal attacks have a 24% chance of dealing double damage. This is, 4 out of 5 on all her skills. Would be 5 out of 5, but I don't have enough system upgrades at the moment, so I'm gonna have to farm those up a bit, and I'll definitely revisit this, and it'll be with a different team. But her kit overall is nice. It's just she does not have enough attack speed. Kind of a problem. Almost to the point where you might actually want to consider not having her mech active and equipping her with a different a faster weapon altogether, which is pretty interesting when you think about it. So like, I would say a team here that makes the most sense for her currently, also because we don't have Evelynn the Pathogen just yet. This would be a fairly nice team to have. Just to show off what it is that she can do. They're all gonna help each other out. Bernadette gives a debuff on her ultimate, and when the enemy has any sort of debuff, she also is able to proc her Kill with Kindness, so that's why she's on there as well. Same thing with Favia, where I do believe her kit has it has bleed in it as well as a different kind, but she also gets a boost whenever the the enemy has a debuff, but it's exclusive to her. But what she's here to do is she's basically meant to help out in, you know, giving a debuff. And the only reason I'm not using PN26, because it would be so much easier just simply using her, is for, well, for one, I don't have her start up. But this, it really doesn't matter, because you could just use her as is, and what I, you know, need to happen, which is just, you know, a debuff, which she also helps facilitate. And she also gets a ultra rare version as well, so she'll end up becoming, you know, a staple. But there's also other units that do the same thing. And Alexa, let's see, I have Eloise, but I haven't built her up just yet. It's gonna take a bit time for resources. But Alexa does the same thing, so she's a really good option. She'll be a premier option whenever her mech comes. But yeah, this is what we're working with, and we'll just go ahead and hop into an event. You see how cohesive this team is, really. I'm sure they'll work incredibly well together. Go ahead and do this. I move really fast. I didn't even like really give time to react to that. But here we go. Okay. I don't know why I was doing this, man. So dumb. But here you can see she has some pretty good damage. 18k, and there's a chance for the, you know, be doubled. Pretty good. There's a lot of this guy. That's very annoying. Very annoying, because that guy ends up healing everybody else, and he's like off into a corner, so it's like really, really annoying. This team's holding up pretty well. They do need their ultimates to basically shine, but as you can see, it takes a long time for them to get it active. And because it takes such a long time, you really do want to have someone like PN26 on this team. So here's the plan. The plan is that let's use this. She's able to all sorts of debuffs. And the plan is to just keep smacking her. Now, the person who would, you know, end up taking Fabia's spot here will be Pathogen Evelynn, and the reason being is because she will make sure all of these debuffs are just permanently active. Under 34 on the ultimate. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. I did take her into supply prep as well, and she performed in there. And the team that I used there was Tasia, PN72, Solvig, and Smiley, and she was able to perform there. So all in all, her performance is great. The damage in comparison to like the damage in comparison to like Tasia, Ren, Smiley at. So Tasia, Ren, Bernadette, Snowy. Tasia, Ren, Bernadette, Snowy. Who else? Violet. She doesn't really like she doesn't hold up. She does not hold up against those. Even PN26, like if you build her up, same there. And it's really just because of her attack speed. Like her attack string is like stupendously slow. That's really the only thing that's holding her back. If she had the attack speed of, say, like, if she had the attack speed of, like, even just Ren, right? Like, just here, 2.2 times a second, right? That already is, like, that's a lot. So if it was somewhere in, like, that range instead of what it is here, in being 1.1 times a second, that's like, it's half the speed, and it's, you know, half as good, which is honestly a shame because she is very good. Like her damage numbers, even though it's like 1 slash, like it's on her ultimate, that is, it could definitely, you know, be better. Here, what I'm going to do is remove all of these real quick, and I'm going to head into this 47,000 string. What I'm going to do is head into here, just so you can see her damage numbers by herself. Kind of decide for yourself whether or not she's worth it for you. So that's, you know, without crits, the damage numbers vary. It's her whip crits. So as you can see here, you definitely want to make sure that she has her. I don't know why it does that when you're like attacking. Going into another stage here. Some weird lag there. Here we go. There's an ultimate, and then here is where you're gonna, you know, this is where she, you know, does a bit more damage. You can see the difference there. Like when her fourth skill procs, you can, you know, it's a lot nicer. Here. So, like, she's good, right? She's good. She does good damage. You're able to see it like there. Like she is a decent. She is a decent member. Now, when it's all said and done, right? When it is all said and done, you put, you know, an actual team together and like what that team would look like. does she make the cut? Oops. She does. She's good enough. She is good enough. All things considered, she's good enough. But like, there's definitely other options that you can use there for sure. But she's better than Flavia because she's not freaking like, only because she's not stationary. If she was stationary, she would not be good at all. Like, her saving grace is the fact that she can actually like, move around. And I really don't understand why they have Flavia like designed the way that they do. It's really just like a major cutback. If we're talking about like, just in terms of like where she would actually be at in terms of like a team, she would be on my third team. She'd be a strong third option. So like here, swap that back, and Elizabeth would be there. And then I would take back my chips. I would take back the chips. And this would be what it is normally. I have to raise her up at some point. This is what it would normally be. And then she's here on this team. Yeah, I think that's a solid spot for her. All things considered, I do believe that's a solid enough spot. It's just, it's nowhere for her to fit on this team, really. I mean, like, sure, I could replace Esmeralda, but the little heals that she does do. Esmeralda eventually, like, whenever Viola's mech, whenever that's released, that's where the spot will be, and this team would pretty much be the same. It wouldn't change really. This team pretty much stays the same, and then like as time goes on, still need to work on, you know, Violet and Murasaki. I have her mech. I just don't have her stars, her rarities just yet. So that's why I haven't done anything with her. But I'll have a showcase on her eventually. But all in all, final verdict, yeah, she's good. She is good. She will be a lot better once I have Pathogen Evelynn. Until then, she's just good. But once I get that, I'll likely run a team with Evelynn, PN72, and then from there I'd have to decide on the last two. But like a more cohesive team would probably be something like PN72, Evelynn, Murasaki, and like Solvig or something. Murasaki or Solvig rather, and then like Smiley to, you know, make sure that everybody is staying alive. And well, it'll likely be like Solvig or Smiley. It's just a really good core, and then she can do her thing with Evelynn. But the thing is, what'll likely end up happening is that I'm gonna like revisit Bernadette, because like she'll proc her stuff, and she also like Evelynn ends up helping her out. And I also have to like find a spot for like Eloise. So she might end up like replacing Esmeralda or something. And then at that point she might get put in the spot that Samura is put in, and I end up like not using Samura mainly because I don't have her mech. But yeah, that pretty much covers it, man. It's not too much left really. She's good. I enjoyed her. The fact that she can actually move, it's just like it's a breath of fresh air, man, that she can like actually move around and she's not stationary. But yeah, with that being said, hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Also leave feedback on what you thought about, you know, PN72, how she performed. Did she live up to your expectations, or is she a bit disappointing considering what other, you know, units are able to do in this category? Is like, as far as strikers go, she's definitely down on the list for sure. Like the current strikers. You know what? I'm not sure. I'd like to see, but it's not a big deal. But yeah, that pretty much concludes the video. It's gone on long enough. I'll see you all in the next one.